What's up guys, it's Ryan and you're watching Ryan Vision. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future updates for Project LJ, my 2005 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Sport. That's what you're looking at right now, and it's sitting on a fresh Iron Rock Off-Road 4-inch premium long arm kit. And I hope you guys like airplanes because you're going to be hearing plenty of them today. So first thing I want to show you with the Iron Rock kit, this thing is sitting nice. Josh over at Iron Rock Off-Road, he talked me into doing the 4-inch kit. I'm new to Wranglers. I had a ZJ before. A lot of you guys probably know me through Project ZJ. And that thing ended up sitting on about 7 inches of lift on 35-inch tires. And so when I was looking online at Iron Rock's kits, I knew I wanted to do Iron Rock Off-Road on the LJ, but I initially wanted to do their 6-inch kit. And talked to Josh from IRO on the phone, and he talked me into doing the 4-inch. Basically what he said is you have a lot more room in the fenders on these Wranglers, especially in the front. You can see I got the flat fenders, the tube fenders, and in the back I'll be doing something similar, but the back's got a whole lot of room. And so basically you have a lot more room for up travel, and you don't need as much height, so you can kind of do the low center of gravity thing. You can keep it low and still get all the up travel and down travel you need to do the big rock crawling stuff. So didn't fight him on that one bit. Trusted him. He's been doing this stuff longer than I have, so went ahead and did the 4-inch Iron Rock Off-Road Premium Long Arm Kit. And it's a really sweet setup. I'm gonna flex it out on the loading dock here in a second, get underneath and show you everything. But first I want to show you how much flatter the belly is than the OEM, and this isn't even as flat as it goes. So what I love about Iron Rock kits, they're so adjustable. Even the belly skid is adjustable. It's got these different spacers. Let me get a little bit closer and show you. It's got these different spacers that allow you to adjust how far down the belly sits. And so this is how we installed it originally. And I got to give a shout out to Mitch Mitre. He did a ton of work on this thing. In fact, we ran into frame rust. And so he did a lot of work on the frame before we could even get the suspension kit on there. I'll cover that in a different video. But shout out to him because, man, he's been such a huge help on this project. And there's a lot of options with this kit. So you can see that there's these 1/4-inch spacer plates here. Those can come out now because we did a 1-inch body lift. So these can come out, and then this whole skid will move up a 1/2 inch once those are out. But it can even go completely flat. There's about a 2-inch drop bracket in there, and if the body lift gave me enough room, I can probably take that out. If not, there's all kinds of different things you can do, modify your tub, different stuff like that. So as of right now, I'm not having any issues at all. It's much higher ground clearance than the stock skid plate was, and it's just super beefy, super solid. And it's just gorgeous. All their kits are gorgeous. They all come powder coated black, and they're all super thick steel. Everything is really thick on here, not just the skid plate but even the control arms. These are 2-inch by 5/16 inch DOM, so super thick wall tubing. And there's no jam nuts. You can see here that they have adjustable, basically just a clamping setup. There's no jam nuts needed, and it's just a sweet setup. I'm trying to get you the right angle so you can see that the control arms are bent for tire clearance from left to right, and also for rock clearance up and down. You can especially see it in the rear. You can see how they go along the frame line and then they dip down toward the axle. You can probably see that better looking over on the driver's side. We're on the passenger side right now. So you know, when you have straight links and they just go straight from this mount here all the way down to the axle mount, you can get hung up on those. You can drag them constantly, and Iron Rock always bends the tubing so that you have maximum rock clearance and maximum tire clearance, and I love that about their kits. That's one of the huge things that was just awesome, and everybody noticed and appreciated on the Iron Rock kit that I had on the ZJ. So absolutely love it. And the other thing that's awesome about this kit, which I don't know how good you'll be able to see it right now, but I'll get it up on the sledge like I said, is it's triangulated. So basically you don't have a track bar anymore. The uppers are triangulated and go to a weld-on truss. Let me get around to the back and show you that. So there's the weld-on Iron Rock Off-Road truss on the Dana 44 axle, and the LJs do come stock with the Dana 44. So this is still the factory Dana 44 with 373 gears, limited slip differential, and they have different truss options. You just let them know which axle you have. But the LJ did have the 44, so we got the 44 weld-on truss, and then the upper links bolt directly to the truss, and they're triangulated, so no more track bar. So we even got rid of the track bar bracket, and ignore the ugly frame, guys. I promise I'll get this all cleaned up and painted and everything. So the track bar bracket used to be right in here somewhere. Removed that. Shout out to my buddy Vlad. He's been a big help as well. He's got a shop over in Rio Linda, and has been helping out with a lot of this stuff, including this little project right here, where we relocated, repositioned the factory upper spring perches just to get a nicer angle on the coils. They were kind of bowing out, and we wanted to make sure that the bump stops made contact. I'll give you a quick shot of that. So that's another great thing with the Iron Rock Off-Road kit. It comes with everything you need, including the bump stop extensions. So there's a plastic spacer there. I'm not sure what it's made out of, probably Delrin or something like that. It's really strong plastic, and it's a spacer, and it comes with the hardware and everything to get your bump stops extended, so that you're not stressing anything out, bottoming out your shocks, overextending, things like that. So all that went on really nice. And then I did opt for, speaking of shocks, there was an option for the Tech Pre-Runner 8000 series shocks. I ran those on the ZJ and I absolutely loved them. They're super beefy. They have an integrated bump stop. They're cheap to replace if you damage one. I think they're only like $50 or something like that. And they have all different sizes, all the way up to 15-inch travel, which is what I was running on the ZJ. So these came with the kit. Iron Rock takes all the guesswork out of it. You don't have to try to determine what size you need or anything like that. You just tell them how much lift you want and which shocks you want, and they'll send you the right size. So right now, you guys will see when I flex this thing out, it's absolutely dialed. The shocks are just the right length. I'm not bottoming them out. I'm not overextending them. I'm getting the full flex that I need. So I'll show you that in just a second. So that pretty much covers the rear as far as the weld-on truss, everything. Let's go over to the front. Same thing in the front. Got these bump stop extensions on the bottom side, and I'm running the Tech Pre-Runner 8000s up here as well. And there you can get a good look at the integrated bump stop there. And here comes the helicopter, guys. Sorry, I'm right by the airfield. I warned you. Gonna be hearing some air traffic today, boys. Oh, here we go. Might as well get an action shot. Yeah. It's probably gonna come over here and tell me I'm supposed to be quarantined for coronavirus. Anyways, guys, back to Jeep stuff. So, other thing I want to mention about Iron Rock Off-Road coils, I love these coils. The reason I love them, they have a little bit firmer spring rate than most other coils. For example, I used to have a Rubicon Express lift kit, and those coils were a lot softer than these. Now, the reason that matters to me is, you can see I am not currently running a front sway bar, and also if you got to look at the rear, I am not running a rear sway bar right now either. And so the firmer spring rate on the coils, it helps out as far as limiting the body roll going around turns on the street, but they're not so stiff that they limit flex at all. They are the perfect spring rate. I absolutely love how Iron Rock Off-Road coils handle, especially when you pair them with the Tech Pre-Runner 8000 series shocks. It's just a really good setup. And then here you also see I've got the stainless steel extended brake lines, front and rear. And guess what, guys? Those are included in the Iron Rock Off-Road kit. Everything you need is included in the Iron Rock Off-Road kit. That's what I love about them. Same thing with the ZJ, same thing with the TJ, the LJ, the WJ. When you buy a kit from Iron Rock Off-Road, it's going to be quality, it's going to be beefy, it's going to be sexy, and it's going to have everything you need. It's going to take all the guesswork out of it for you. So lighting's kind of bad on this side, but it might actually give you kind of a shot of the control arms with the sun coming through. it just sits really nice, guys. This 4-inch on 35s it's really looking good. So much adjustability. All of the control arms are adjustable. We talked about the belly skid adjustability. And it's a 4-link in the rear and it's a 3-link in the front. And what that means is you can see the upper here on the passenger side. The upper mount on the passenger side of the axle is empty. There's nothing there. You just have a lower on the passenger side, and then you have your lower and your upper on the driver's side. There, you can kind of see it there. And on this setup, you may recall there was a different caster adjuster plate on some of the older ZJ kits. That doesn't exist on this kit. It's just a solid mount on the driver's side, stock upper mount on the axle. There's just a solid mount there with no adjustment as far as the mount itself, but all the adjustability is in the control arm. All of the control arms on this kit are fully adjustable. The uppers, the lowers, everything is adjustable, front and rear, as well as the belly skid plate. It's all fully adjustable. So let's go ahead and flex this thing out. I'll crawl under and give you an even better look at it. Alright guys, so here's a shot of it flexed out, at least as flexed out as I could get it on this loading dock. I think it definitely has more than this. I just don't have anything bigger to flex it out on right now, but you can see that the bump stops are dialed. I'm not rubbing tire at all. I know the lighting's kind of bad. I'll get under here and give you a better look. So you can see the bump stops just starting to make contact with that lower extension right there. So there's definitely a little more room for compression. There's some more up travel here. Then you can see the adjustable track bar double shear from Iron Rock Off-Road. That's all part of the kit. And so that bolts on to the factory mount, drops it down a little bit, reinforces it. It's got all the bends necessary for clearance. And then it comes all the way over here where it's fully adjustable. So if you do decide to change your lift at all, this will allow you to recenter your axle if you go up a little or down a little as far as lift height. So that's all included in the kit as well. Now you can get a little bit better look at the bottom extensions for the bump stop here. Okay, coil's hanging on, but it's starting to drop down there, but it's hanging on to that upper post. Everything looking really good there. No risk of that falling out on the trail. Then I did check the shocks out. The shock is not overextending. I haven't messed with limit straps yet, but I probably will do that. You can see there's plenty of room on the extended stainless steel brake lines. They're up out of the way, but it's allowing plenty of slack for that massive down travel. As we go to the back, you can see it's tucking that tire nice, but not too much. Not so much that's jamming up in there and hitting stuff and not wanting to spin, not wanting to push your rig forward. Got a lot of room. And because it's adjustable, you can do things like, if you notice, it's a little closer to the front of the wheel well than the back. I have all the adjustability I need to push this axle back a little bit. I haven't ordered custom drive shafts yet. So right now I'm on the 231, the factory 231 with the slip yoke eliminator, and whatever shaft was on it when I bought it, I'm not sure. But once I get this axle right where I want it, all centered up, I'll get a hold of Tom Woods and get custom drive shafts on this. But you can see I have plenty of room. I have a lot more room for up travel if I want to adjust my bump stops. But this is actually where I want it right now. It's just really clean. It's giving me everything I need. It's not bottoming out the shock, and it's not rubbing the tire. This is pretty much where I want it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll do some adjustment. Let me go around to the other side, give you a shot of the back. It's kind of a good angle. Shows you the tuck in the rear, the droop in the front. Leaning hard. See if I can sneak in here. Show you those Doge Techs. Show you that weld-on truss from Iron Rock on the Dana 44. And you can see that Doge Tech shock. And you can see my fresh bump stops with the Iron Rock Offroad extensions they provided and new hardware they provided. And then this lower one I added, and so that's why on the other side I showed you I have a lot more room for up travel. I actually added this aluminum puck on the bottom, which is probably about, I think it's about a 2-inch puck. It's just something I had laying around. So I drilled the lower coil bucket and bolted this on just because I wanted to bump it a little earlier. So it's completely up to you. If you want to really jam the tire up there, I think you have more room to do it without rubbing. But I'm just styling it in for, you know, the way I like to have things. So that's optional. That was not included in the kit. That's something you can do on your own if you want to, but you don't have to. And just like the front, you can see the coils hanging on, no risk of falling out, but plenty of droop. Now I'll see if I can sneak in here and get you a shot of the other side so you can see the bump stops are making contact. So that's what's controlling my up travel right now. And this is also probably a good angle for you to see the uppers on the weld-on truss, and you can see the bends in them. You can see how they're bent for clearance. The uppers are bent for clearance from the tub and the frame, and the bottoms are bent for clearance for rocks and the tires. So there you can see my slip yoke eliminator on the 231. My drive shaft hanging on there. Get all that figured out. But it's all working. And then now you're probably in better light to see this belly skid setup. Now you can see those spacers sandwiched in there. So in the kit, they give you a bunch of these spacers. I'm only running 2 right now, and both of those are coming out. And then this bottom one's the actual plate itself. And then you can see that this is actually designed when these 2 spacers come out. This piece right here will actually be reinforcing the skid, and I like that. So I want to at least get those 2 spacers out. But this whole piece, this whole bracket could come out too, and the whole thing can go flat. But I believe there is some modification to do that, because you're going to start running into the tub with the top of the transmission and stuff like that. Haven't really played around with it a lot. I'll see how high I can get it, but I suspect for now I'm just going to remove those 2 plates. But like I said, the kit comes with even more plates. So it's really up to you. This kit can do so many things for so many different setups. It's completely up to you how many plates you run and what brackets you run. Then also you can see the adjustability here. I know I mentioned it on the other side, but the lighting's looking at a little better, at least for me. So all of these flex joints are completely rebuildable. They're all held together with these Allen bolts. You can take them apart. You can put new pieces inside. And also they all are greasable. And all of the hardware, really nice. It's just a gorgeous kit. And that black powder coating just makes it all look so clean. And then here you can see on the front lower again, adjustable with that clamp setup. No jam nuts needed. And it's not going to flop around on you, because this side over here has the bushing. So it's got the flex joint up here on the frame side, on the front and the back, and then it's got the bushing side on the axle side, and that's going to keep it from flipping and flopping back and forth. Even though you don't have a jam nut and you have these sleeve clamps, it's not going to flop back and forth on you. You get those nice and tight, and the bushing's going to hold on to everything for you as well. So you can also see here, let me get under here, trying my best guys, bear with me. So now you can see how that arm comes in away from the tire. That's to give you the clearance when you're turning left to right. That gives you the tire clearance. So it's just a really well thought out kit because, you know, it's pretty easy to just make a straight link. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I mean, you're going to be dragging those all the time. You're going to be getting hung up on them, depending on what they're made of and how thick wall the material is. You might be bending them. I've even seen some of them break. So Iron Rock does a really good job keeping those up out of harm's way. And you can see it best on the back ones, how they bend down and how they bend in. So it's a really slick setup. And then now you can see that 3-link, how on this side you've got the lower and you've got the upper, and just bolts on there, no caster plate like I said. And now you can see the back side of the track bar bracket and the adjustable track bar in the front. And then there's those Tech shocks. And Iron Rock Off-Road, they make bar pin eliminators for these shocks where it mounts on the bottom. I'm definitely going to get those. I ran those on the ZJ and loved them. And then over here, we're tucked up, we're drooping on the other side, and you can see that long stainless steel extended brake line. It's still up out of harm's way, but it gives me all the length I need when I droop this side down. And you can see how nice that coil's tucking up and compressing, but nothing's hitting. It's all nice and neat as far as clearance. Okay. So one thing I am going to have to figure out is my exhaust. Right now this thing sounds like a little tractor. I did go ahead and cut the exhaust because I need to get it run underneath the belly pan. Get it under the belly skid. So let me show you that. See if I can give you a shot of how the uppers bolt on. So there's passenger side rear upper tucked way up above the frame. So you can see this is the lower right here, that's the frame. Then you've got your upper right here. So it's way up out of harm's way. And now you can kind of see the brackets I'm talking about. This bottom bracket, this about 2-inch section, this can come out and everything can go up and be flat. So there's so many options, so much adjustability. Also a huge perk of the Iron Rock Off-Road kits, all of them, is that you can drop the belly skid without dropping the suspension at all. It's basically a 3-piece design, so the skid can drop down, you can service your transmission or transfer case, and everything else stays in place. And then you just bolt the skid back when you're done. There's a 3-piece cross member here, and that just comes down with the belly skid. You can do what you need to do and then bolt it back up, and the suspension's all right where it was. So you can see here, this little alleyway that I'm filming through, you can see my rusty exhaust pipe up there. They left me a lot of room for exhaust, so I need to get a hold of my catalytic converter. It's still over at Mitch's house. Got to get a hold of the factory catalytic converter. I am in California. Smog's a big issue. So I'll extend that pipe straight back with the California legal cat, and I may or may not run a muffler. I didn't on the ZJ, and I kind of like how this thing sounds, and I think it'll sound a little better with the cat on it. But I may get a little muffler or something, and then I'm just going to do a turn down right past the belly skid. I'm just going to do a little chrome turn down tucked up here. Keep the exhaust out of the way of the suspension. I did that on the ZJ and I never had any problems at all. I've never run exhaust all the way to the back of the vehicle. It's not my style. I like stuff loud, and I like stuff clean, and I like a lot of clearance. So here's another shot of the control arms, and you can see how it bends down as it gets toward the axle. Look how close it stays to the frame. And of course that side is tucked up, but even at ride height it stays so close to the frame and then angles down toward the axle. And then now you can see the bends in the uppers here of the tub. And then you can see the bump stop extensions over there and the IRO coil compressing real nice. And you can see it's got a lot more room to compress too. I'm just limiting that with the additional 2-inch bottom puck that I put on the bump stops. So guys, I could not be happier with the Iron Rock Off-Road long arm suspension kit, the premium 4-inch kit for the LJ. So if you have a TJ or an LJ, or even if you have a ZJ, WJ, whatever you have, XJ, make sure you get on ironrockoffroad.com and sorry, I'm like climbing out of here, and see what they got for your vehicle, because their stuff's amazing. I've probably been running Iron Rock Off-Road's products, and I mean all of their products, from suspension all the way to things like air compressors, brackets, things like that. I've been running their products for probably 8 years or more, and I have never had a single issue with any of them. That says a lot. There were a lot of trips to the Rubicon Trail. There were trips out to Fordyce. There were tons of trips over to Prairie City, which is my local off-road park. Never had an issue with any of their products. And I'll tell you what, talking to Josh and the guys over at Iron Rock Off-Road, the customer service is amazing. They answer emails, they pick up the phone, they'll talk to you. They'll talk to you while you're working on the install. They will help you out. Whatever you need, they're there. They're not one of those companies where once they have your money, you never hear from them again. They're there for you. They're going to help you out. They've been there a long time. They know what they're doing. They can give you advice. If you're not sure which kit you want, if you're not sure which kit you need, give them a call. Talk to them. Tell them what you want to do with your rig. Tell them what you got. They'll be happy to help you out. Okay? So I can't say enough good things about Iron Rock Off-Road as a company. I can't say enough good things about Iron Rock Off-Road's products. And that's why I run them on this vehicle, my last vehicle, and probably every other Jeep vehicle that I'll ever have. So make sure you check them out, guys. ironrockoffroad.com, and tell them Project LJ sent you. And got another airplane here. And a helicopter coming too. I'm telling you guys, I can't make this stuff up. This is probably the Corona copter. I'm telling you, it's the Corona copter, guys. Alright, well that's enough fun for today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe for more, and I'll keep you updated on Project LJ. See you guys.